So do you notice that you have no idea what he's talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about because you're showing us passion as opposed to talking to someone. So with you, the issue is often that you love a song, and so you want to deliver it the way you love it. But when you do that, you're delivering it as a listener, not as a singer, not as a performer.
Right.
So we don't get to see it. So what is this about?
It's basically about being kind of out of it and wanting to get back into it, I guess.
Right, so there were men high up there fishing, haven't seen quite enough of the world. Oh, I ain't seen a sign of my hero, and I'm still diving down for pearls. Let me flow into the ocean, let me get back to the sea. Let me be stormy and let me be calm. Let the tide in and set me free. So you're saying you want to get back into life?
Yeah.
Right, so the question is, who are you telling that to, and why? So you have the theme that you want to get back into life, and then you have to determine how you put you into that theme. So do you have an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, who you're talking to? Now then, this is the challenging part. See, the paradox is that whatever you're thinking is what's playing. It's like we were talking about, I did 400 thought exchange workshops. I feel like I didn't want to do one again. And we were talking about that. We were talking about affirmations and why people say, oh, sometimes they work, my affirmation didn't work, because when you affirm, all an affirmation is affirming is that something exists in the unmanifested world. Yes, there is $1 million available. Yes, there's $1 billion available. It has nothing to do with manifesting. It has to do with that it's here in the only place we live, which is the invisible world. So, but the subtlety of it is that we will see whatever you're thinking, not what you're doing. So if you wanted to be impassioned and you are going like this and doing all this, that's because you think you are not passionate enough or not powerful enough, and that's what will show, regardless of how you push and shove. So the interesting thing is if we hold ourselves as, I kept quoting that Aretha Franklin thing when I went to the Aretha Franklin concert in college, and Aretha came out and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you can relax. Aretha is here." And it was that kind of like, and Aretha could have been very, very nervous, but she's taking the place. And so the thing is, if you are enough, then you're just standing there and saying it is enough. If you think you're not enough, then you have to put it forth more and push it somewhere. And the more you do that, the more we see you as not enough, and the more we also, our attention is drawn to you trying, as opposed to the person talking. So, we're in this very odd situation because we are in front of people and we are, hoping that we do well, but what the people have to see is us in a circumstance.
So I was reading recently how much Richard Pryor had difficulty with that early in his career.
Anxiety?
Well, basically he wouldn't command the stage at all. He just kind of did his stuff, and it was kind of very, very Bill Cosby influenced. He hadn't really found himself, and then later on in his career, he was really commanding the stage.
Yeah, and that you do find and you command it. But you see, all of these things, it's like, my favorite corporate client is this big executive at Mars Candy, and he really gets this stuff, and he really gets this on the inside. It's really quite amazing to work with him. And the corporate coaches are always like doing all these things like, you need to show it powerfully, you're not picking the low-hanging fruit, and so I got a call saying, from the head of the coaching thing that said, I want to watch Richard carefully because we've gotten word that he's not necessarily showing up powerfully in meetings. So I called Richard and I said, Richard, do you have like a Batman suit or something like that, or did you ever fly in through the window at meetings? They say you're not showing up powerfully. And what he discovered was, when we really talked about not be aggressive, do this, give you 5 things to do, but what does that mean? He realized that he thinks a lot of the things that they're working on are bullshit, and he's not voicing that opinion. He's being quiet. And so that's looking like a lack of power. So he's not, if you say you gotta be a team player, you realize being a team player to him is saying, no, I don't think that works. And so you're not showing up powerfully. And so it's sort of the opposite. So can you dare to stand there, look at someone, and just talk?
Okay.
And you know who, and you see, you can only do that if you really know who you're talking to and what circumstance you're in. And to not know how you're going to say that. Hooked your emotion. You weren't showing it to us. Could you feel that?
Yeah.
That you were actually dealing with someone, and it hooked you. It hooks you harder. You know, I worked with so many college kids on this trip, and you just saw how they're all sort of trying to emote and stuff like that. And every one of them, when you put them in a situation, they go, oh my God, I felt so much. I felt, you know, people are afraid they're not going to feel. You're going to feel more, but it's real.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful time. I had 20 college students, and I had a half hour with each of them after a master class. And everyone who walked in, I said, what's your biggest problem? You're not going to have it when you walk out of here. And just one after another. The head of the department called me and said, it's like you waved a wand. But all I did was this, you know, I mean, that these kids are so open to it. But so, the difference, could you feel the difference?
Yeah.
And that you have to trust that. One of the things, it's funny, I found myself saying this at every, it was interesting teaching 20 lessons in a row. I found myself saying this at every single one. What I found myself talking about here was, there is a system, there is a way things work. we cannot know that. We cannot operate that, just any more than we can operate the inside of a computer. What we have to find is the key to get into and operate that system. And so I said to several of the kids in their lessons, I said, okay, what I want you to do now is I want you to accelerate your heart rate by 20 beats, and I want you to send more blood to your lungs and secrete adrenaline. They said, what? I said, you can't do that? They said, no. I said, I can. Watch me. When I walk, my heartbeat accelerates, my adrenaline kicks, and blood runs to my lungs. So I can accelerate them, but not by going directly to them. So if someone says, I want you to get angry now, you can't get angry. You can talk to someone and anger will be pulled out of you. So you have to figure out how you get into the system, and just as you push the keys on a computer and it does things that we could never understand, even if we did understand them, even the people who make them don't know why the computer does that. They just notice that if you hook this up to this and put this information, that seems, we can't really know. So our bodies and our psyches and stuff like that are the universe and are operative in some way that we cannot know. But we can operate them by putting the key in, and the key is circumstance, thought, hearing the note, allowing. I mean, one of the things that Florence taught me, she teaches it very, she has it on the floor like pushing air from here to here and stuff like that, and it's kind of a little, you know, people at Tulsa later said, well, you get Florence students and they're either brilliant or they're on vocal rest for 6 months, you know what I mean? But what she really made clear was that the larynx, the vocal cords, go buzza, 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 buzza. You just hit the vocal cords with air. You don't push air past the vocal cords. All of placement is done. She said, don't place anything. Say the words you want to say. When you're saying words, it's placing at all times. If there's air coming up, now Bill Schumann does it the other way. He just says, think it, and the air will come up. But you're only bringing air to here, then it's going through on its own. And words are placing by what you say. And so if we try to alter something or stick it somewhere, it's like you're not going to get the words you want, or else you'll get a tight sound. What is it you're saying? And the body puts it here, puts it here, puts it here, puts it here, puts it on. It knows where to go as you know how to operate the system. It's interesting because I'm sort of halfway there, so I'd suddenly be in a you know, because I sang a lot, and it went, considering that I've been struggling with certain things, it went really well. But I'd suddenly go, just say the word, and I'd notice, whoa, where that's at a completely different place.
But to really say it into
Like
the
a we
hand.
can be kind. I was going, we can be kind. We can be kind. Where is the word kind? Spoken, it's just kind. And then something feels too small here, but that's the way kind comes out because it's already up here. My vocal cords are just going buzz, kind. And it's we can take care of each other. Suddenly my voice is moving where I was holding it tight. I can trust, I was going to win. I can trust the wind. Now I'm holding a little bit, but it's starting to, it's about the word. And so the way to get into the system is through speech, through allowing air to fall into you, and so what we're doing is standing, operating something that is not us, and that we don't know how it works. And the people who do it well accept that, and then just do what needs to be done to enable it to work, to enable it to work for us, to enable it to give us what we want, but we're not doing it. We're conjuring it. We're calling it out. So that was good because you feel the difference in that.
Yeah.
So when you get up from now on, notice that urge. Notice that you want the song to be a certain kind of passion, and then say, it's impossible to demonstrate that passion. It's only possible to say, I wonder where I might be that impassioned, and then just be you. just be you standing there. And if impassionedness gets pulled out of you,
This was so simple. All I imagined was I was at a job interview.
that's right. Well, but I was going to say, I was going to make a joke about it. I was going to say, once you get back into the world, I wonder where you're going to find that. You know, I mean, it's an issue. You know, you're drawn to the song because it's an issue that really means something to
Yeah.
you, and so you are drawn into this. So, and you know, sometimes you have to look further for one, but as you say, yes. See, there's a simple, and if you really think job interview, if you were really at a job interview, you might not be that adamant because you
Yeah.
might be handling something. And so to let that be, like we just, you know, our friend Vicky stays in our Florida apartment. It's a condo, and it's like the Gestapo. It's got so many rules. And our neighbor decided he doesn't want to hear her sing, and so anytime she opens her mouth to sing, he calls the office, and the office sends a fine up, and then she's and it's infuriating. You know, it's just infuriating. And she called, and I thought, oh, this is so infuriating. I've been through it my whole life, and the guy on the board was not helpful, and so I said, all right, there must be a solution to this. And I called him, and I said, yeah, you know, explain what's going on. And I was so sort of quiet about it. I said, you know, I'm a musician, and this has been a lifelong thing, and it gets very ugly if the neighbors don't cooperate. And I said, this man doesn't want us to sing because he says he's a writer. He's working in his apartment. He said, yeah, but you're allowed to work if it doesn't disturb anyone. I said, well, you can be damn sure it disturbs me if I can't make any noise in my apartment whatsoever. You know, so I said, I said, look, we don't want, I would ask the building, can you stand back from this and not, because you know, you don't want to get this all. And so he said, well, we have to send the notice, and on the third notice we send a fine, but when you go before the board, they're usually very reasonable, and it's not reasonable for me to have to not open my mouth in my apartment if I have to warm up or whatever. So, but I just realized, so in other words,